Today, Precarious plays
Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. So we're gonna go pick a fight with this clan. Give me 3,000 I'm sorry. We've been contracted to fight you, and you want me to pay you to not fight you? That's not gonna go well for you, sir.
Yeah, that's real dumb.
Oh, this is not one of my favorite maps because, to the best of my knowledge, okay, ice is forbidden. Ice is forbidden. Use fire. To the best of my knowledge, I don't think you ever get to start on the favorable portion of this map.
Oh. So you're always on the uphill climb?
Yes.
The enemy has the high ground.
Except for this one sad sack over here. But see how they get to spread out?
What is his name?
Do not. Oh, okay. That's much better. See, I thought you were headed towards a Star Wars reference, and you know better than to do that near me.
Okay.
Because of reason.
Okay. No, I just thought that he was appropriately named.
Well, let's just say that there's probably doesn't bode well for him that I'm pointing a large portion of my force towards him to start.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't want... This guy's fine. He can level up.
I think it's interesting that there's a facing system. You know,
Oh yeah, because Fire Emblem, I was like...
Fire Emblem totally doesn't, like, nobody gives a... No, everybody is in their square and they're 360 all the time. Just eyes in the back of their heads.
Yes, and I think that's because, the scale is so much more grand.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, I don't even know if the implication of Fire Emblem... I feel like maybe they're suggesting in Fire Emblem that one battle, especially between something like a Cavalier and a Pegasus Knight, for example, I don't know if it would fit in this space.
Yeah, maybe not.
Like, I don't know if that battle could be held by this map in its entirety. No, you know, like Lyn fighting a bandit, that's fine. Or anytime they're indoors. Things are a little different then.
Before we started playing this game, I always kind of compared it to Fire Emblem. I thought, oh, it's like Fire Emblem, and then I kind of just left it alone. Because I was like, well, I like Fire Emblem. I've already played Fire Emblem. And it's one of those kinds of games. It's a strategy type of game.
Yes.
With the blocks and the moving things around, and it's turn-based and all of that. But the more we play this, the more I feel like it's not like Fire Emblem.
I could definitely see them being advertised next to one another in, say, like, a Nintendo Power.
Yeah, like, hey, like strategy titles, here are 2 of them.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Or I could see, I'm not sure which one came out first, but I could see an insert for the other one being included. Because I don't know if you recall, but Game Boy Advance games, they used to have advertisements for other games, paper, printed out on paper.
I know,
it was horribly
weird.
wasteful.
Yeah, terribly so.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was really, really, like, too much. Until you get to, like, the Wii era. And you had, like, the manuals that were printed in 3 languages that I believe were assigned to every copy.
Yeah, that's wasteful.
Yeah, that's a little excessive, because I'm sure that I guess paper must have just been cheaper than the cost of trying to manage... Like,
set up and manage 3 different versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you see what I just did to that guy? It's one of my favorite tricks.
I did not explain.
I had New Kid use Matra Magic, which switches the target's MP and HP. But because his maximum MP is only 21, When it swapped them, he would have had 21 HP and 75 MP, but it can only go up to the cap, so he just winds up with 21 of both.
Oh my god, so you just short him because it can only go up to the cap. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so...
That's so rude, oh my god.
It is an incredibly damaging attack at this point in the game, whenever you can use it on enemies that don't have much magical power.
And then does it like ever expire or switch back?
Nope. Well, I mean, yeah, presumably after they've had a good nap. After...
Yeah, after they've passed out in battle.
I'm gonna take a step back, and I'm gonna cast fire on this. Well, I'm gonna try to cast fire on this guy. It's probably gonna miss.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of what is even truly the same.
You got me.
About Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy Tactics.
Managing percentage chance.
Managing percentage. I think that does sum it up very well. And having that management occur on turns.
Yes.
On a grid map.
The more I think about it, the more I realize that I believe of like the 3 big strategy titles that I played on the Game Boy Advance. The one that I think is the best game, like the best strategy game, is Advance Wars.
Yeah, you know, I played Advance Wars a little bit, but it was another one of those games that I kind of figured out what was going on and lost interest quickly because I did not get into any of the characters or the scenario, which is usually what keeps me around. Like, I'll hang out with Lindis forever, and even Eliwood's okay, but his friend Hector is super cool, and look at all the people interacting and having little story bits, even though they're clunky sometimes.
Did you actually play Advance Wars? Because that's understandable in Advance Wars, but I think that because they move to different perspectives, the perspectives of each of the different nations in Advance Wars Black Hole Rising, that seems more peculiar to me, that you would have responded to it that way.
I don't remember.
Because in particular, I remember the scene where I've messed up the color and like astral body combination before on the show. I can't remember if it's Blue Moon or I think it's almost definitely Green Earth, and I think it's Orange Star, but I cannot remember if it's Blue Moon or Blue Comet.
Do you think it's Blue Cloud?
No, it's not. It's not
a cloud.
No, they're all
celestial bodies.
Yeah, because it's Black Hole, Orange Star, Green Earth, which I think is a bit of a cheat. Now that I say it again. You know what? It doesn't matter. The Blue Army. Whenever the Blue Army... They have to go back to their most main leaders, their most main CEO, his hometown, and it is completely ruined because a member of the Black Hole Army's scientist CEO, she has used a device that just scrambles the terrain. And it's interesting because it looks like a really dopey child went crazy with the level editor, which is a thing that you can do, right? And it doesn't really, like, it looks messy. It doesn't look like a fun map, right? Because you just have like roads that will abruptly end, like just they run into ocean, you know? So it looks, yeah, it looks messed up. But then right at the very end of the map, I think they show you like a frame, like a still of the actual damage that was done. And it is it was a powerful moment as a child. It was really upsetting because I looked at the buildings as they are in the game. Oh, I stopped that guy. Huh. Didn't know that acid could stop people. I looked at the buildings in the game, and I just thought, oh, well, that's actually kind of cute that she invented a device that just, like, scrambles the terrain.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until they show you the frame at the end and you see that, yes, everything has been moved around, but it's also felt it. It's as if the Earth was shifted via earthquake. It wasn't just like a cartoon teleportation that happened, right?
It was like somebody took a spoon, stuck it down in the earth, and swirled it a couple of times.
Yeah, it was messed up. The buildings were all cracked and sad.
Mm-hmm.
And just, that's one of the first times that I started to, I think I was probably about in middle school at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered why I had imagined it as, why did I assume that it was something gentle? Why did I assume that this was a gentle thing that had transpired whenever I'm playing a game about war?
Yeah.
Why is it that I assume that the people that go whiz wooz wow whenever they get shot up,
Mm-hmm.
why do I assume that they are casualties that get to go back to fighting on the next map,
Mm-hmm.
when it would probably make sense for most of them to be fatalities?
Yeah. Because it's actually in that setting of being like more modern war.
Yeah, and I think that's just mechanically, that's one of the reasons why I think it works a little better than Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you can have people die. They can be lost.
Yeah.
And I know that so it can happen. Actually, it can happen in both of these games, because if you go to an area, a yag,
Mm-hmm.
then you can lose characters in this game permanently.
But it's not so constant.
Yeah, and in Fire Emblem, you can also sort of opt into being honest, and you can lose characters permanently as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very challenging to play Advance Wars in a way where you don't lose any units.
Yeah.
I mean, any. It will usually, it's the kind of thing where you'll probably wind up losing maps if you decide to not lose any units.
Well, and the other thing about those units is that they really represent a larger group. And so whenever that unit takes a hit, it's probably losing individuals, and then when you heal, it's probably getting restructured and filled in by recruits, like they do.
Yeah, it's probably
in the military.
It's probably some combination of some people who were just casualties before being able to fight again,
Yeah.
or fresh faces.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's exactly what happens whenever you have like a unit that is on the map and it's just foot soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
They represent, I think it's 5 foot soldiers, and whenever you zoom into Resolve Combat, whenever your HP is reduced, I think each of those soldiers is representative of 2 HP.
Mm-hmm.
So if you lose 4 HP in a battle,
Then you've lost 2 soldiers.
yeah, two little soldiers go whizzing off the screen in a sort of, it's darkly comical at how cute it is.
Oh.
Actually, you know what? Next time, I want to end this here, and then we'll be able to go pretty much straight into the next map where we have gain a new territory.
Uh-huh.
I want to tell you about Days of Ruin, which is my favorite Advance Wars title.